Like a little side menu. That's terrible.
Stopping in, we've been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took house to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we've been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took house to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. You know what I'm saying? We bring to you the new. Hey, no, what's going on? It is episode 52. Are we calling it the P. Willie episode? Ray Lewis episode? Brian Urlacher episode? Is it just every dope middle linebacker ever episode?
I go with Patrick Willis, man, because
glad we're on the same page. To my man Pythagoras out there, this is the P. Willie episode. Why are we even pretending right now? We already knew what it was. But it is Monday, June 5th. We coming at you. I know we had a little bit of a hiatus.
it's definitely the 6th.
Oh, today's the 6th?
Mm-hmm.
It's June 6th. Listen, man, I've been behind them the days, and I was writing on some passes today, and I was like, I couldn't even begin to tell you what day it was. Listen, all I know is the time and where they go, and the teachers ain't looking at the things anyways. But as usual, I'm your host, the 5XL assassin, the diabolical diabetic, your boy, the big nasty. To my right is the high yellow hitman, the freaking deacon, Coach Buck, my little dumpling, Uncle Raisin. What's going on, man? How you doing?
It's the hand song that makes it so crazy. I feel so heavy.
You gotta be gentle to my little
It's
dumpling.
so heavy. It's like, no, man, I'm doing good, man. All things considered, it has been a tough week. Like I talked about before, some family loss, we're still going through that. We still haven't had services yet. So,
Still though? Like you haven't figured out when they're supposed to be?
yeah, it's just still waiting.
Okay.
Family getting together and, setting everything up. It's kind of a longer process now. There are a lot of people passing away. So there are a lot of, so there's just like a lot of places are backed up, which is like crazy and scary and eye-opening all at the same time. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I'm here. I'm excited. It's pod day, so I'm locked in. How about you?
Doing all right, man. Well, a little bit. It's like a heavy weekend in general.
Okay.
I feel like just a lot of people just wasn't acting right, so I felt like I was in like overdrive mode. Like helping a lot of people out, trying to be there for a lot of people. Hey, we're not doing that.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing that. Because I know my role.
Oh,
not shut my mouth.
I like that.
Like aside from that, we have, 10 days left?
8.
Is it 8? Is it 8 days?
8.
We got 8 days left, so it's like to me, I'm like let's get through this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm kind of cooling.
You got summer plans?
I'm doing summer school.
Ooh.
Yo, man, I can't miss out on that stipend, B.
No, I feel you. Have fun with that.
I will.
I'll drop you off for lunch or something.
I would greatly appreciate that. That sounds awesome.
Have a good day.
Thanks, honey. So it ends at like 12:30. And it's only
Sidebar Lulu just quick.
Turn right back around. It's like the Abe Simpson.
You can say hello if you want. No, you don't say hello. Just come down here, distract us, and get out of here.
Yes. Oh, I thought she was fellas. Anything's better than sidebar, man. That's all I know. Anything's better.
Well, no, because he don't be watching the pod. Shots fired.
Are you ready to get into it, man? I know we already running a little bit late, and I know we're behind schedule and stuff. So
no diggity, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you want to touch this one? Because I don't really know the full details. I know there was a loss in this young man's life. I don't know the extent of what the loss was, but if you could detail it.
So yes, young Atlanta super producer Metro Boomin,
Mhm.
unfortunately lost his mother this weekend. Apparently his mother's boyfriend attacked her and took her life and then took his life shortly after. I believe that it was Friday night. And so there hasn't released obviously the grisly details of it, but I mean regardless of what the details were,
Right.
it's a tremendous loss of life. And you got to put all thoughts, hopes, and prayers out to Metro. Like that's just like that's not a situation like literally anybody wants to be in.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that was awful.
Sheesh, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, man. You know, because it's layered. You know, because the domestic violence and then the actual fatality of the situation, like that's a lot to take in. So yeah, definitely prayers out to the friends, family, everybody that may be connected and hurt by this. That's crazy, man. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
I got a little bit of a lighter note thing, and it's like it's crazy to have to do this, but it's like so today, like I know we haven't done this in like quite some time.
Okay.
But today marks the 15-year anniversary of the release of this song, International Players Anthem, with Outkast and UGK. We just had the UGK version. No. Come on,
that's
man.
Cadillac Funky Music.
That's Players Ball.
Southern Playalistic. Yes.
Come on, you can do better than this.
Give me a bar. Start me off.
I typed the text to a girl I used to see. Say that I chose this cutie pie with whom I want to be.
Got you. Keep going. I like this.
I apologize if this message gets you down. So I CC'd every girl that I'd CC around town. I hate to see y'all drown, but I'd rather see her smiling. Wetness all around me, true. But I'm no island. Peninsula, maybe. Makes no sense. I know crazy. Give up all this pussy cat that's in my lap. No looking back. Spaceships don't come equipped. The rearview mirrors, they tip as quick as they can. The atmosphere is now ripped. I'm so like a pip. I'm glad it's night. So delight. What in the sun would not burn me on my bum. When I shoot the moon, I jump the broom. Pack a preemie out the womb. My partner's yelling too soon. Don't do it. Reconsider. Resubmit. Sure on the subject. You sure? Fuck it. Well, you know.
So I do remember this song. This was they had the video where it was set up like a wedding.
Yeah. So why you dressed like Roddy Piper? Exactly. Maybe I got Scottish about it.
Little Duvall was in this one too, right?
It's in the video at some point in time. It's a very like Atlanta video.
Yeah.
Even though like UGK's from Houston.
I'm still thinking of the wrong video. This is the one where Hey Now. I think that's the one with Little Duvall in it.
Hey Now.
Yeah, and he was like, "Tell what you call it. He's got to balance his women. He got to start sleeping with some white chicks when he's on tour."
What's Hey Now? What song is that?
Hey, now.
Hey y'all.
That too.
Because I was like, Hey Now. And I was like, what song is that?
15 years, huh?
So one of my favorite authors, Shea Serrano, he wrote a book and it was like the hip hop Bible. And he had another book. It was like the most important song to come out every year. And the year that this song came out, which I believe is 2007, 15 years ago, he was like, this was the most important song. And like, as I was reading the article and like, I was always thinking about it, he was like, this might be the most, like the best song like of the decade. And like, I remember at the time, like really thinking about it because like this decade, if there's one thing it's struggled with, it's having music that like really lasts and things like that make like it's been real tough for songs to turn into classics. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like you think about like J. Cole has like so many dope songs, but it's like what's the classic J. Cole song that like 15 to 20 years from now someone will put on a party and everybody be like, it's probably No Role Model now. Like that, it's like that. Kendrick Lamar is another one, or it's like he has so much great music, but it's like what's the one? Is it the
Be Humble?
I guess Humble's okay. Like I think that song's just okay. What about a song that lasted a lot longer than I thought was I was just about to say Swimming Pools, but I think Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe is the one. I think that especially the remix with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That's the one that really did it.
Yeah.
One of the things that Drake gets a lot of hits on is like they're like Drake has no classic albums, he doesn't have classic songs, he has so many hits, he has bangers, but he doesn't have classic songs. But I think that he's come out with like a bunch of them. Like I think
0 to 100.
That's a pretty good one. I know a Hotline Bling came on my shuffle the other day, and I was in the car like, you used to call me on my, you used to. And I was just like, I was in the car like, who this traffic jam? Whoever was next to me was feeling it. Ever since. I'm also real partial to the one with the Lauryn Hill sample. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like He's like, here for me, wanna cry for me, cry for me.
Oh yeah,
You know a real one in your reflection, without a follow, without a mission. You really pipe it up, throwing these things in your hair. Telling you,
Yeah, I didn't tell him. I don't ever knew the name of that song.
nice for what? What's the name of that song?
Makes sense.
Controller. Like he has like a lot of ones where like if you put him on at a party, like people stop.
You know why? Because he's a pop artist, so a lot of those songs, like once you throw them out there, you're kind of like, oh, this is something I could dance to.
I always wonder like how do DJs not like run like you ever been to a party and like a DJ starts playing the same song over and over again?
Mhm.
I'm like, how do you have Kanye West and Drake's discographies and you're running out of music?
You should never.
Should never.
If a DJ runs out of music, especially in this day and age,
Yes.
what so many things you can go through,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't be hired again.
So I mean, it's like it's almost like too easy. But I digress to bring it back to the song International Players Anthem. I think it's a flawless song. I think everybody's verse is super solid on it.
Mhm.
You seem to be a little bit uneasy on remembering the song like in
I'm
total.
sure if I just hear it again, it comes right back to me.
Because my question was going to be who has the best verse on the song, but I don't think like you would really remember it like that.
How about this?
But
Give me a listen, and then I'll get back to you.
like right now,
No, definitely gotta text you right away. Like, definitely this person.
I think Andre 3000 gets the like a lot of people give it to him because he has the first verse. It's like it's mostly a cappella. There's no bass, no nothing in it. I always liked how
I feel like everybody always likes singing UGK's part.
yeah.
Like everybody's like really into it. Like even when I watch video, like there was a dude who actually got married and he's in the limo singing UGK's part.
I mean, as you should. I always like that every person on there has like the beat is different for
Yes.
each of them,
Yes.
and they're all talking about different parts of relationships.
Mhm.
Like you know what I mean? And it's just like I personally think Big Boy has the best verse on it, like towards the end and stuff like that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I just wanted to give I had to give shout outs to like one of my favorite songs of all time, International Players Anthem, 15 Years.
Do we ever get another Andre 3000 song? I won't even say album. I'm just gonna say a song.
Well, I mean, he was just featured on the Donda song, right? That was like that they took it off and then put it right back on, and then it was a big deal, and like it was a really dope verse. And then Kanye ruined it by making a song where Andre 3000 is talking about his dead mother, and he starts using it to take shots at Drake.
Yeah, so I'm talking about an Andre 3000 song.
So like, does Outkast themselves come out with another song, or can Andre 3000 just be featured on a song?
Yeah, I'll take Dre just on a song.
Yeah, like
I know Big Boy's still making music.
he is.
Like he hasn't like really had the drop off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard a song from him in a while, like that was his song, but he had the one that I still listen to today is the Kill Jill.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Killer Mike and everybody on it. Like that joint was fire. But like I just feel like
Well, I
Andre's
mean,
been kind of
we can talk forever about just the fact that like how much Just Do Big Boy doesn't get because of like how big
Right.
like people hopped on Andre 3000 and
Yep.
they were kind of just like he was carrying Outkast, which was never
no.
really the case. Like
Andre would say the same thing.
I think any person that listened to Outkast would say the same thing. And it's
Right.
like Andre can't do what he does if there's no Big Boy on the track to like really keep it like where it's at. And it's like his lyrics and like the flow is always impeccable.
Right.
But I think if you really go back and listen to the song and listen to like what everybody's saying and stuff like that, I feel like Big Boy, I don't want to say he runs away with it, but I think he should get the Just Do is the best person on the track.
I'm gonna give it 3 run throughs for old time's sakes, and I'm gonna send you a text.
It's one of my favorite wedding songs like ever. Like I remember like a couple years ago, I went to this wedding and I didn't really know anybody. Like I went with somebody
Mhm.
and it was just like you're the weird guy out, and it was like the DJ put it on, and I was just like turned into a whole different person. And this big white dude reminded me of Big Easy from The Challenge.
She
He came over and he started hitting it. We was just looking at each other, and then like all of a sudden it became like this big circle. And I was eeny meeny this, and he was saying it, and I was just like, yo. Like we tackled after, and after everybody was like, "Yo, we gotta hang out, bro." Like I don't know who you are, but yeah, I got. But I was like, "That's
Never
what
saw
music
him
does." Nah,
he's gonna find you through this episode.
probably shouldn't have been at that wedding. To be honest, that was a wild decision.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. All right, well, you know what I mean? We're gonna mosey all over to this Insomnia TV.
Mosey on up.
Yeah. Wake me up. Save me. That made me going after it, man. All right, so first things first.
I pop up. Salt the onions.
Are you all caught up on Barry?
I'm not. I missed last night's episode because of the game, bro. The game was on.
You're the one who told me episodes of Barry are only 30 minutes. You could have watched that episode during halftime.
You're probably right. I had guests over and I was playing and we wound up playing the game real quick and then went back and watched the game. The fact of the matter is, if we would have filmed on Tuesday when we normally do, I would have watched the episode, but I didn't get a chance to watch it because I usually watch Barry on Mondays anyways.
Okay. Sounds like more excuses, but okay.
I mean, it sounds like the truth. I mean, is it an excuse or a reason? Is it the finale? Because like I know we talked before about like because this is episode
7.
This is episode 7.
So if I feel like it's only gonna be 8 episodes.
Oh my goodness!
This last episode was like really intense because so you did see him get poisoned.
Yep.
So I won't ruin it for you, but that's where the next episode picks up from.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's like him being poisoned, but it's just like then she runs off, and then it gets into the episode, and it's just like things are kind of like subtly coming together to fall apart, if that makes sense.
Sounds like a making of a good episode. I can't wait to get there.
Yeah, it does. I'm hoping it doesn't stop at 8 because I feel like there's still a lot they can do.
I think it's the final season. I think they're going to give us 10.
Or just an hour-long episode 8. That's where I think they're at with it.
Keep my Robert De Niro face.
Yeah, and I do.
That's good, Falcon.
And I do think that you may be wrong about his Asian friend.
Oh, he's not banging with him.
You got to watch the next episode. I ain't gonna ruin it
His
for you.
brother's terminating his career.
I ain't gonna ruin it for you. I ain't gonna ruin it for you.
You got it.
But because it could still go either way.
Yeah.
But like I said, things are really coming together to fall apart. So we'll see. But we can move on to our next show unless you have something else you want to add.
I haven't seen it, so like there's nothing to say.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Obi-Wan.
I watched the first episode of it.
Okay.
I know that there's 3 episodes now.
There's 3 episodes, yep.
From what I'm understanding, the 3rd episode is like everybody's like a resounding was the best episode because it was the Anakin episode, and like everybody was loving it. The first episode I thought was very okay. I can definitely see what people hated about it. Like a lot of the, I wouldn't even say the action in it, but like there was like this scene where like baby Princess Leia's like running through the forest and like the Inquisitors are chasing her, and it looks bad. Like they're like literally getting stopped by like branches. They're like, "Rah!" And it's like it's very cringy. But a lot of the other stuff in it, like I like the stuff that's set up. This is a shitty way to call her out, but it's like the Black Inquisitor that everybody hates. I was just like, do they hate her?
Like
Reva.
There you go.
Like I was just like, wow, she's getting way too much hate for this role. Like, granted, I didn't see episode 2, and I was just like, yeah, she's the very aggressive, brutal Inquisitor. Like, there always is one in every group, but it's like it seems like for some reason, like they're just going crazy hard on her, and I just don't know why.
Right, and she's not gonna dial it back at all.
Okay,
she's not gonna dial it.
I was kind of hoping that she doesn't. I can't wait to find out what her beef with Kenobi is. Did they tell that the next 2 episodes?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I do know that, like you said, the connection of him and Anakin come in, so it's clearly that she is working firsthand as not like the other Inquisitors, but like has firsthand connection with Vader, and they're in communication, and the reward of handling the Obi-Wan situation for him is her becoming head Inquisitor. But I still feel like there may be some backstory there other than just this really super.
There's definitely something in there,
so we'll see.
It kind of reminds me of in Peacemaker, like the black girl was like in contact with Amanda Waller, but like nobody else did. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I think it's got black women being sneaky. What's up with that? HBO Max. I was kidding. Man, I what you call it? We're the show we're getting ready to talk about. I spent like the whole weekend like really watching all those episodes, and that's what took up like big chunk of my time.
And let's get past this then.
Okay.
And let's get to Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. I embodied it. I finished it.
Listen.
Yeah.
Episode 7.
Yeah.
The origins episode.
Yeah.
Was it
all right, so this is the issue that I had because
snap! Talk about it.
This issue I had with you, bro. I didn't know the show
because you guessed right and I didn't let you know.
No, because you were just like, oh, like I bet you won't be able to guess, and it's like, yeah, no shit. I was only on episode 4 and this character wasn't introduced. How was I ever supposed to guess a character that I don't know even is a thing yet?
To your credit, you did guess correctly.
How?
Because you were like, was it old dude who was raising her in the hospital when she was a little kid?
But that's not who it is.
I mean, he's the one that's looking after her in the hospital. So I thought you knew what
No.
was going on.
What?
I thought you knew. I thought you knew.
No. Like that character, what, number 1? Is that what they're calling him?
Yeah.
Because she's 11.
Definitely number 1.
Number 1, whatchamacallit, like he wasn't even introduced like at the point like where I was at. So it's just like there was no way I was ever gonna guess this character.
Right.
But it was like the whole time, like I was just like, it's gonna be that teacher, man. Like I was just like, I was telling you, it's gonna be, I was like, he's trying to get me off that shit. I was like, it's about to be that teacher. It was Dustin's dad.
That ain't been around.
Yeah, I'm like,
Because it's been an upside down.
I absolutely adored like this season. I think like as it was going on, I was just like I couldn't wait to start the next episode. Like I canceled a bunch of stuff that I was gonna do.
Wow.
Like I was like I'll be there in an hour. Actually, I'm gonna be there in like 2 hours. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. Like, I did that. I did a couple of those. It's like that. And I was just like, actually, I'm gonna order Chinese and like and bang on this finale.
Told on himself.
Yeah, but it was like I thought the Vecna origin was pretty dope.
It was definitely dope.
He's been my favorite villain so far.
And the creation of the whole upside down, the original creation of it, like
L.
yes.
But it, like the fact that the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer are his like minions, like make it even more cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I can't wait to the second half to
Yeah.
see like the not only the conclusion but to get like what is his real because like I know like he can steal like their essence, but I can't remember like what that does for him. Does that just make his power go up? Is that what it is?
I think so.
So that way he can be powerful enough to take out 11.
Yeah.
So like I think I talked about it in the last episode, but I was talking about like the speech that she had with I think Dr. Owen is his name, like when he's recruiting Elle to the mission,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like, I can make you more. What if I told you I can give you your powers back, and you're the only person that can take this thing out? Like I was just like, I can't be more hyped for this next episode. Like, this speech is like immaculate. I do like I can't remember what the other doctor's name is either. Dr. Brenner, or
Oh, the cool
Papa, but what they call him Papa,
Yeah.
is like I like.
Oh, the jerk dude.
Yeah. I like the introduction of him. Like I feel like if I was him, I just would be like, yeah, let her do all the stuff, and I'll just be in the background, and she'll just never know that I'm here until she gets her powers back,
Right.
or like whatever. But I like that she needs to go through these memories in order to get it, and then like how they, excuse me, I don't want to say that they played us because it's really, Elle's own memories getting twisted, where it's like they let us to believe that she killed all those kids, and then stuff like that.
Because I was definitely mad at her. It's like, oh, you're just a homicidal maniac.
Because I was just like, that's what happens when you push something. A weapon that you've created that doesn't know any better, like that's just what happens. Even though they never really get into like why Elle is so powerful, like maybe they'll get into that at some point in time.
Oh, her out of everybody else.
Yeah, like why the 11th experiment? Like because I think there's a 12 too.
There was a 17.
No, okay,
Yeah. I think it was just like how it happens in most TV shows, like the emotional innocence often makes that person a lot stronger than a person that's like knows they have superpowers and abuses their superpowers, and they feel like they're at their limit because they're the best, not knowing that there's still a ceiling to crack through.
Mhm.
So the loss of humility kind of makes you weaker.
Okay, that's not a bad explanation.
Yeah, I try.
I really like to be, because there was a whole thing where I was like, yo, this dude's being mad weird. And this is like before like when I started to put the thing, I was like, he is Vecna
Mhm.
type of deal. But it's just like, he's being super weird. And then I was like, please tell me this dude's not about to touch Elle. Like I thought that's what was gonna happen.
Oh, right.
And then like, he's like, oh, you can escape. And then he's like, I got this thing in my neck. And she's like, oh, I can take that out for you. And like the second like they're in that hallway, and I was like, oh, this brother got powers. And then he starts using them, and he's just like, yo, stay here real quick. And I was just like, oh man, like, she don't even know what she let out. Do you remember? Have you ever seen the movie Akira?
Akira?
Yeah,
It's spelled, how do you say it?
Akira.
Oh, I never knew it. I always said Akira.
I'm pretty sure the English dub version it is called Akira.
Yeah, but I
and
have
it's like
seen
the
The dude on a motorcycle.
yeah.
It gets
But
super.
it's like his boy Tetsuo.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it kind of reminded me of. It's just like when you let him loose, like he starts going off.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I did not think it was him as I was watching the episodes. Because of the connection to Lucas's ex-girlfriend.
Max. Mhm.
Her connection and her seemed like she was getting this big role. I thought it was her brother.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to put that out there.
Yeah,
That's what
and the fact that like the way his aura was, with like
it looked like
it's
his
like
hair.
veiny, it looked like long hair, and it was like oh, and like her being able to be the only one to get out after being taken. So I was just like, oh,
Which was one of my favorite memes of the weekend.
what?
Because like, you know, like everybody put the music on and then like they float up. So like everybody was putting like different music to it.
Oh, yeah, that sounds hilarious. That sounds
Just like, you know, they put it on, it's like real ass bitch, give a fuck about nigga. You know, they were doing like a whole bunch of that. And then like that was the thing on Twitter. It's like, what would be like your song? And then like, of course, I meet up with Pythagoras, so like we start throwing out like stupid songs or whatever. And I'm just like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, that Uchi really blowing up in there. I was like, yo,
not the freeway.
no. I didn't even watch God. That didn't even come up. I might have joined back then. Because what we do is still hustle till the sun come up.
Snatch your body, take your soul apart.
Because I was just thinking, it's like I'm trying to think of like, you know, because like he's got like Max like right here, like when she does it too.
Mhm.
So like I'm just picturing it put like Big Pippin on, and it's like I just come over to him and like and a key and a P must what is this? Little young thing going around my hair with your tongue ring deep.
Yo. What's the name? Is still the truth.
Dustin.
No.
Steve?
Justin is still hilarious. Old boy with the net with
Steve.
the yes.
My man Steve is goated.
Steve is still the truth.
Steve is goated. He was never.
He's a first action hero.
I'm not, every time anything happens, I was like, Raisin. I was like, if he dies, it's Raisin's fault because Raisin put it out there that he could die. And I was just like, every time he came out on top, I was like,
Yeah.
let me
I feel like they're giving him all his glory moments.
Oh, not the
Just to
swan
snatch him
song.
away.
Not the
Just
swan
to
song.
snatch him away.
If he goes in the series finale and he takes out Vecna, I'm cool with it. But it seems like they're setting up for Nancy to take him out.
Which one's Nancy?
This real skinny girl, Dustin's sister, right? Nancy, the main girl, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because she's we'll see.
Because when she goes to go through the upside down portal
Right.
and he
She
shakes
ends
her,
up somewhere else.
and I was Barb is Vecna? I like legit, I don't remember what I was doing, but I like out loud, I'm by myself, I was like, Barb is Vecna? And then like it goes, and I was like, oh, she's not. And I was like, that would have been the greatest twist of all time. It's like, who would have thought that Barb like just died in like the first episode while she was getting her coochie tore up? It's like she winds up being the villain.
I like this. I really like the creativity of the origin story episode of it being told collectively through two sides. So like 11's figuring it out while Nancy is also in the upside down and seeing it from like the actual, so like from the beginning and Elle seeing it from like the middle, but they're all coming together, and it's just like it's so crazy how they wrote that, and I thought that was pretty dope.
How bad did you feel for Victor Creel, man?
Oh, terrible. He should have had to go through that.
Oh my God! I'm like,
listen,
his wife, his daughter got bodied.
And as soon as I seen the boy, I was just like, yo. But then I still didn't make the connection to him being the guy. And then once that came together, I was like, oh my goodness. Y'all took your time with this.
Yeah.
I appreciate you not getting lazy with it.
I think I had a fork and I went, Stranger Things. I was like, y'all did it. I think I did one of those. I was like, y'all did it. It was just like, they do the thing where he was just like, my father was so dumb. And they kind of like pan over and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Stranger Things writers.
Listen, I'm sitting there and when I saw him manipulating the rabbit, I was like, the animals were here. Yeah, this is crazy. This is out of control. So yeah, they definitely did a great job. I'm excited for them.
He got to steal all those powers and still get bodied by an 11-year-old.
Oh yes. Oh yes. He's about to get tore. He's about to get his face tore.
Get twaxed.
But the homie Dustin is definitely holding it down.
Come on now.
I'm still waiting for somebody to pop out with the Lucas jersey because I know it's gonna happen.
I thoroughly enjoyed the scene where it's just like, I didn't just humble himself, and then like the Eddie guy's like, it's his tone, right?
It's his tone.
I was like, he was like,
I told you.
Why does no one?
Yo, man, you gotta stop doing that, man. You gotta
stop thirsty mug.
Yo.
Why does no one listen?
Yo, but did you see that when I told you it was like how he's already struggling with the teeth and he's coming to age, but then they did a full body shot of him in the forest as he was walking away.
Yeah.
He walked. I was like, fam, why your feet pointed out like a Jamaican at a dance hall party?
It's
It's like, bro, you built like one of the rectangle erasers.
Yo, Steve Aquaman, how long was this man's underwater looking for invectives?
Yeah.
By the way,
Oh,
like little coochie slit in,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah. That's twice.
That's an edited version.
But yeah, listen, this brother is like literally going after it. And he's like, yep, this is my job to do this. It's bravery time. It's like,
That's what happens when you're goated. It's like you just like you don't ask. The roles are just thrust upon you, and everybody has to understand.
right.
But then, like when Eddie told him, he was like, "Yo, man, she didn't even think for a second. She
Right.
hopped right in after." I was just like,
Right. He was like, the only reason I jumped in is because I didn't want to be the coward that stayed in the boat. But
"Because I'm like, I can't stand Jonathan Byers, bro." Because I was like, "Yo, please throw that back at Steve. I can't stand Jonathan." Your whole storyline, I'm just like, "Yo, they can stop going to go see what Mike and Will are up to. Like, I don't care."
yeah, I'm all set there too.
But I can't wait till the second half where they tell us like how gay Will Byers is. Because boy, oh boy, this whole season I'm like, oh, Will gay as hell. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, they take it
That's
forever.
why he's mad at 11. That's why he's mad at 11.
That's why he's like, why don't you say hi to me? I can't wait to see this wild painting that he painted to give to Mike.
Mhm.
And it's like, yo, I'm like, oh yeah, this boy gay as hell.
Hey, listen, we already knew it was gonna happen. He's got to be in every show. So
Here you go. Like he can't naturally just be. My man was in the upside down. The only person he waited for was Mike. Maybe he just loves Mike. You ever think about that?
So our next show.
Wait, hold on. You're gonna keep talking. We're not gonna talk about Hopper and the squad.
Oh,
Bro, we're not gonna talk about the people on the roster.
oh yeah.
The Cowboys.
So all right. So the illest part for me, right, is when they bring them all in for dinner,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're this is like the meal because they're prepping us to die." And I heard it was some type of monster killed everybody in 30 seconds. And then when that man Hopper gave him the real,
Yeah.
like he's just down there eating, like listening to these dudes, like y'all.
So he was grabbing that vodka. He was getting
Yeah.
that joint prepared.
That man was just like, y'all don't even know what's going on, man. He was like, I'm gonna tell you what's really going on. And them brothers was shook.
As they should have been.
Oh yeah.
He's like, no such things as halfway.
Oh yeah. But that man, that sergeant looked real distraught when that man got that spear, poured that alcohol in there. Was like, wait, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's like, yeah, I've been here before.
Oh
fam."
man, when I was like, man, these writers, bro. Because
Yeah.
I was like, yo, he got it going, and then the joint went light. I was like, come on, man. I was like, nah, this whole squad.
Then
I
the
was like,
spear going out right after they got back in. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh man.
I was like,
the reopening of the door, like, oh man.
I was banging with our Russian friend the whole time, and I was like, yo, don't tell me that this man's about to get bodied, sacrifice himself for Hopper to get the fire going.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought was about to happen. I was like, yeah, get rid of all these fodder ass.
Right,
Like,
right.
get rid
The
of them.
ones we told stay together and they didn't want to listen. Go ahead and get waxed. Go ahead and get waxed.
The whatchamacallit, the biting of the head coming clean
Oh.
off. I was like, ooh, this is a wild visual.
Ugh. Listen, that thing has been in there for a minute, bro.
No,
That joint was on Gladiator mode. I don't know why it didn't just jump out though. I thought them joints had leaps.
I don't remember. Like, I was thinking that too. Like, I was like, why are these guys like? They seem like they're not worried about it jumping up.
Right.
And I was like, how do they get it back into this
Exactly.
elevator?
Exactly.
Once they got in there, whatever.
Or maybe they knew that it didn't like fire and they got some type of way to move it back in. Who knows? But
I had a quick thing too, where I was like, I couldn't remember correctly, but Hopper and Joyce gave it a shot at a relationship at one point, right?
yeah, they're like in love. The only reason they weren't together is because he sacrificed himself to close the upside down thing.
Yeah.
And she thought he was dead.
Because like I remember, like it wasn't a thing, and then she
She stood him up by accident because she was all caught up in the stuff that the kids were going through.
right.
And then
Then she got with Rudy.
she got. That's right. I forgot about Rudy.
Yo, I think his name was Doug.
Yeah, he went out like a G.
That joy hurt my heart,
He went
bro.
out like a G.
Joy hurt my heart. I was like, damn, man. I was like, I know we're not supposed to like Doug, but like us being older guys, and I was like, you trying to be a stand-up stepdad? I was like,
Right.
solid, bro.
Right.
Something like that. I was like, good dude. And he went out like a G. Like I should have tattooed tear. My man Doug. I was like, man, Sean Astin.
Yeah,
I was like,
they got to end up together. They got to end up together.
you seen that hug when he got there? I was like, yeah.
It's
About to do you like they
it's
used
the
to have, like this
inevitable.
brother Yuri was doing this peanut butter.
All right, we moving on after that.
No, one more. There's one more thing about it. Like, yo,
Okay.
I can't remember his name now. I've lost it. But the crazy dude with the beard that rolls with Joyce.
Oh yeah,
Murray.
yeah. He had his moment.
My man Murray
That
got
man-
thorough,
Yo,
bro.
and that man was like, I take Taekwondo. She was like, with who? I was like, well, they're mostly like 12-year-olds, 10, 11, but there's one aggressive 16-year-old in there. And if I could beat him, I could beat anybody.
And when he was
Yo.
on the plane and he really started to, he was like, my hands are knives. I was like, yo, my man Murray coming through right now.
Yo, she knocked old boy out. When he knocked old boy out, she's like, what are you doing? Who's gonna fly the plane?
Yo, that was the only part I didn't like. I was like, this looks awful. Like
Yeah.
that whole plane falling scene. I was like, this is the most unbelievable. In a show that has a Demogorgon, a Mind Flayer, and an Upside Down, I was like, them landing this plane was the most unbelievable thing. And I just watched Tom Cruise.
Hey, they save money on editing there so that they can do all the other stuff, man.
It's true. I really don't like the graphic of when Vecna takes people, when their eyes pop.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, every time I'm just like, oh, this
it
is
looks
so bad.
real Nickelodeon-ish.
It does. It looks really bad every time. But I'm just like, you look past it because everything else is so on point.
Definitely.
I know we spent a lot of time on Stranger Things.
It's okay.
I can't wait for part 2.
It's okay. We can save some time here. Did you watch The Boys?
I did not.
All right, so we can save time there.
I watched the first episode. I watched the first 2 episodes of the challenge.
Yeah, but that's not on the docket tonight. and it's a challenge all-stars. It's not the
The
challenge.
second that we started the challenge, I went up to go get something.
You have to specify all-stars because
All stars, the challenge all stars. And as I got up, Nick was like,
It's-
Joel. And I was like, bro, why do you keep calling my name? He's like, yo, there's gonna be something on here for you. And I was like, I mean, yeah, it's a challenge all stars. Like, what are you talking about? And it's like, I sit there and I'm like, why are you yelling like Gisela? What's up? What's going on here? And I was just like, I just like the fact that like people just know. That's you right there. And I was like, you right. That's all me.
And it's the challenge all-stars, man. So it's the older group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grown folks.
I'm having a hard time not looking on this side. I'm sorry, but go ahead. Go ahead.
So, wait, I had a trailer.
Dude, get that back.
And to be really quick, there's a TV show I didn't see a release date yet.
No.
But it's called Bear, and it's starring who most people will know as Lip from Shameless.
Boy, Lip Gallagher.
Yep, Lip Gallagher. So what it is he has a restaurant, and he's like really into cooking.
Mhm.
And like I guess it's him and his brother was left it by the father, and him and his brother are going at each other because he's like, hey, why do you think he didn't leave it to you? Because he couldn't trust you. So like the brother has one idea for the restaurant, he has another idea for the restaurant, and he's trying to revitalize the restaurant from what I gathered. And through that, he has a number of different people who are working as short order cooks, but they all have skills on the grill. Not to just you know what I mean? I know that came off pretty dope, but
Pretty dope. That's the word you're going.
yeah. It just looks like they're basically just trying to intensify the menu in order to try to save the restaurant by all of them bringing their own delicacies and like cooking for one another. And it's like these really intimate scenes on where like, you know, food is like a connection. So they're all like cooking.
You tell me.
At one point, I'll just call him Lip because I don't know his name, but he made like a steak and cheese type sandwich, and the black guy ate it and he was like, what do you think? He was like, redundant and white, just like you. So it's like, it was pretty dope.
That was the moment where you're like, I gotta watch this
I gotta
show.
watch this show. I gotta watch this show. So it was pretty dope. It's a very multicultural cast. So I'm very excited about where they can go with it. So I'm gonna give it the first season. I liked Lip. He was one of the few characters that I did like on Shameless. Everybody else, I kind of just watched it just to see them do awful.
They're pretty awful people.
Yeah, it was
Well,
just,
they have an awful life.
Yeah.
Let's not say that they're awful people. Carl's
I don't
pretty
know.
awful.
They did some pretty bad things.
I think-
They did
the
some
thing is,
pretty
like,
bad things.
Carl's pretty bad, but I feel like everybody likes Carl. Nobody likes Debbie. Debbie's
Debbie's the worst.
Debbie's the worst.
Debbie's the worst. So if it was for me, it was only Lip and Liam. You know what I mean? The family next door was cool. But
yeah.
like those are the two. If I'm picking two Gallaghers, those are the ones. You know what I mean? But
Do you think that they picked him to be like the head chef or whatever because he looks so much like the chef from Ratatouille?
Wow. I mean, he looks a lot like the guy from Top Gun who played Gusa.
He don't look like no Miles. Disrespect Miles Teller to God.
They don't look alike?
No.
Okay. Okay, they both got a Gerber baby type stature to their
I was
face.
just say that man Rooster was a
Go ahead.
was a Olympic
Go ahead,
Greek
don't
god.
stop, pop that. All right, so
I
there
did
it is.
watch a new movie, but I'm way more interested in talking about Top Gun because I know you saw it. You
Listen,
finally saw it.
get this other movie out the way so that we can go Top Gun.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. So I saw Bob's Burgers.
Hurry up.
I saw the Bob Burgers movie. It pretty much is just a really long episode of Bob Burgers. It's been a while since I've seen Bob Burgers, which I really enjoyed. The movie was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. Like, you know, because like you expect, like when you do like the Simpsons movie and like all these other TV show movie tie-in things, they're always kind of like weird. But this one wasn't. It was really well done. It's pretty much about there is something happens to Bob's restaurant where like now people can't come into the restaurant. And then there's a murder. They wound up finding like a skeleton from like a murder. So like the kids take it upon themselves to try to like figure out this murder to to get everything settled so that way like they can afford to keep the restaurant open because of the fact something happens that closes the restaurant, like they're going to wind up losing the restaurant, which is also where they live and stuff like that. But like there's a lot of musical numbers in it, and like each of them were like funnier than the last one.
Okay.
Because like the first one starts and I was like, wait, this movie's a musical? And it's like and like the choreography and everything that they do, like they're just like so like it's like I was dying. I was very surprised that like when I left, like how many older people were in the movie. And like they were dying laughing like in this theater, like at this movie and stuff like that. I think the plot. I think if you're any sort of like had any sort of intelligence, like you could kind of figure out who the killer is like pretty like relatively quickly. But like the journey that they take to get there, but it's like more. But the most important thing is like the most believable thing has to be the family, and it's like the heart that's in it because like the real like. Do you watch Bob's Burgers?
No.
Never watched it. It's a really, really good show. Like I think you should give it a
The
shot.
only thing I've seen closest to Bob's Burger is I guess the daughter has a meme where she's like twerking.
Oh yeah, my girl Tina.
Everybody uses that.
Like, yo, let me tell you, man, like the whole family is on point in this. And it's like if you don't watch Bob's Burgers, I really recommend that you give it a shot. It is really, really funny. I think the humor is right up your alley. I think you're the type too, like when you laugh and they go like really loud, Bob's Burgers, I think would get you. And like the movie hit all this stuff. Like, no, I saw it in the theaters.
No, I'm talking about the TV show.
And it's on Hulu.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out how to rate it. I was like, I didn't think it was a full pricer. So like out of my rankings, which is full price, matinee, $5 Tuesday, Redbox, stream it, skip it. I gave it a strong matinee. I was like, I had no problem, especially if you're a fan of Bob's Burgers, no problem spending the matinee price to watch the movie. If you're not a fan of Bob's Burgers and like you don't really know who they are, that's what I try to look for too. I was like, if I didn't know these characters, would this movie help me understand like who these people are? And I think it does a good job of that. But like there are certain things that you'll only get if you watch the show. Like so that's the only reason like why I gave it like a little knock. So like people who don't know or aren't fans of Bob's Burgers, I think a matinee price is solid enough for you.
Okay. I like that.
Let's go to the danger zone. Let's go. So you finally saw Top Gun after I gave my review of it. I tried to not give you as much details about the movie as I could. Did my initial reaction to Top Gun change your impression of it, the movie at all?
No. My wife and I were clutching each other throughout the entire movie.
I'm so glad that we could finally get in depth about this movie because it was killing me.
Listen, this is probably movie of the year so far for me.
I told you.
This movie of the year so far for me.
Is it not? And I know this is like some people say it's hyperbole. Is this not one of the greatest action movies you've ever seen?
Yes.
Let's fucking go, man.
I love the cast. I love the young abundance. It gave me, so you know I'm a big Rocky fan.
Yep.
I love the whole Creed saga and how the transitioning is happening. And it really gave me that feeling of like Tom Cruise is going to play his part, but he's passing the torch. And he did that very, very well. I love the idea.
From this point on, we're going spoilers, full spoilers. So like if you need the timestamps are down at the bottom, so then you know from here on out.
So I'll start by saying they did really well with the nostalgia of the connection of the original movie to this movie.
The beginning of the movie felt like a real 90s movie for a large chunk of it, right?
I love the whole him riding in on the motorcycle. I love the whole Goose's son. I can't remember his name. Rooster. which is pretty dope. The names were fire. You were
I
right
told you,
about
I
that.
was like, yo, these call signs,
But
yo,
Ruth-
Hangman.
yes,
Like that was the one
Yes.
where you were like, oh, like give me one of the hands.
And
I was
it
like,
didn't even say
Hangman. It was like,
it was missing letters because at first I was like, "Am I seeing something?" I was like, "Oh,
like the game.
oh, yes." So I love the whole playing of the piano.
Real quick, because like you're about to go off, and I want to like hit this real thing. So like this other podcast that I listen to, the kind of funny podcast they do in review. Andy Cortez from the show pointed it out. He was like, "This movie is so anime without it being an anime."
Oh.
And I was like, with them having the different helmets with the different things on them, I was like, all they needed to do was be like in the place, be like, it's morphin' time, and then have like the different colors
A
behind it and
little
stuff.
Gundam robot or something.
Yeah, that's all they needed because it was like, oh man, I was every call sign. I was like, oh my god, that's so fire. Oh my
Yes.
god, that's so fire.
Yes,
Well, go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I like the son playing the piano and
Yeah.
playing the song.
Great balls of fire.
Yes, and how Tom Cruise is like looking in the window and it's just like, oh man.
Tom Cruise not amazing, bro.
Yes,
Tom Cruise is amazing.
Yes,
I was like, people not like Tom Cruise.
definitely. Like if you think of white actors, it's like him and Tom Hanks. It's like
With
right
the
there.
Hank and Manny?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean toward Tom Hanks. So. But either way,
Well, Tom Hanks will make you cry.
right,
Like Tom Cruise is gonna make you like hype. Like that's what he is. He's the action star.
right,
While Tom Hanks is whatchamacallit. He's gonna get you in here.
right. And then finally, I really enjoyed how they made the connection between like Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise not getting
Bro.
along with each other, and then having that moment where they were like, "Yes, you're a great wingman," and Rooster and Hangman having that same moment. So it's just like, okay, I see what's going
When
on.
he hits it with the which one of us is the best pilot? He's like, we're having a really good moment here.
Yeah.
Like, like I told you that I cried 4 times in this movie. This movie didn't get you not once, bro.
Nah, I told you, man, I have some emotional damage that I'm still dealing with, so my body wouldn't allow me
Did you
to
get
do
choked
that.
up?
But there were some few choky moments,
Was Val Kilmer one of them?
Yes.
I think-
it was definitely for one reason only because, and I don't think I would have looked at it this way if I didn't know previously from the last episode where you were telling me that he was already suffering from throat cancer. So like he couldn't take any jobs, he couldn't act, but Top Gun still went out of their way to make sure that he was in the movie and gave him some lines. And then like the passing away in the movie just so they could say, all right, we honored this character in the movie, I thought was really dope.
I feel like every time that he like instead of retyping, like just kept pointing at the screen, I was just
Right.
like, Val Kilmer's crushing
Right,
this.
right.
I was like, I'm
It's
scared.
like, how do I act better with words than other people do with words? But yeah, that was a really dope moment. Of course, when he comes back and shoots the plane out of the air, and he's just like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "You idiot!" He was like, "I sacrificed
He's
myself."
like, he's like, you don't
can get
think you
away."
idiot? He was like, you told me not
You
to.
told me not to. And I was just like, "What are they gonna do now?"
I watched this movie again, bro.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Listen,
movie again.
listen. When he got into the old plane,
He's
bro,
like, how do you
listen.
fly this?
Yeah, listen. The dog fights, bro. Listen,
Yo,
there was no failures in the movie.
You try to tell me the best part when they shoot down when like Tom Cruise, they're doing the whole thing is like they're trying to do the hand signs. I have no idea what this means, and then like they're having the moment where he's just like, he's like,
I don't know what any of this.
he's just like, yo, like he's in the position behind us, like they're gonna take us
Yes.
down, and he takes down the first dude, and they do the
Yeah.
maneuver to get the second dude,
Yeah.
and then the second dude does a whoop, and Miles Teller goes. What? I was like,
I promise you, I almost said the same thing in the theater. So when he took out the first plane, I was like, mind you, there's a dude, this girl right next to me. Lulu was like, yo, chill. I was like, no. So when he went to set dude up, and that plane was just like, man, that man did like a skateboard kick.
it was
on that man.
crazy. It was crazy.
That's like,
I'm telling you, I looked over like I was already at the edge of my seat.
Oh.
He did that. I looked at Nick. I was like,
yeah, all I thought of was freaking Stomp the Yard when that man Chris Brown did the elbow move.
and they immediately were like, we gotta kill this. He's dead. You can't do a move like that. We must kill you now.
That place said, you.
I was
I was like, what is he flying in a Bugatti? What's this like that?
Because yo, John Hamm has been telling them the whole movie, like, you guys
Generation-
cannot bang with these fifth generation. And the second we see that move, I was like, oh, these fifth generation pilots is real.
Bro, these dudes, the masks look crazy. The masks look crazy. They look like something out of
The
a
Star
video
Troopers.
game.
The
Like,
Star Troopers.
bro, it was all blacked out.
But you know why they did that?
So they don't have to pay nobody.
No, so that way they don't have to tell us what country these people are from. They never specify. We got to go to this Russian, the Ukrainians. We cover their face. We never talk about what the country is. So that way we can play this movie in every single country.
But yeah, yo, listen. When that man said couldn't mark the target, he was like, "I'm about to blind drop it," and that man, Steph Curry,
Yo,
bro, that joy said.
I feel like I got wrecked. I was like, "Whoop." I was like, yes, let's go. But I was like, let's go.
Bro, that joy said, whoop, the whole floor was like,
oh my God. I was like, this movie is so amazing.
Then not only the actual moment, but the training of how to climb out of that canyon and old boy blacking out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, he's about to die.
He's like, the tone.
Yes. Because I won't lie to you, I was mad. I was like, really?
Kill the brother.
He was like, they killed the brother. We back in the 90s.
For a movie about like a legacy movie,
Yes.
and to bring in all these new characters and stuff like that,
Yes.
for them to have nobody die in this movie,
Right.
that I still felt all the stakes like in this movie.
Right.
Because then they do that and like they fix it, and then like immediately right after the bird flies in the plane of Shorty's thing. And I was like,
Right.
I'm telling you, as soon as they did like the intro, like when they were in the bar and they're doing the stuff, and he was like, "My name's Bob." I was like, they already made my favorite character. And I was like, he said one word in this movie.
So he's gonna die.
When they honed him out in the movie. Like he didn't really wind up doing much.
Yeah,
The whole time I was like, Bob's gonna do something thorough. Bob's gonna do something thorough.
Yeah.
Bob's gonna do something thorough. He never really does.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty dope too, like how they figured out Goose was Rooster's dad. Like that it wasn't like this big obnoxious reveal. It was kind of just like, oh yeah, we saw a picture. I'm gonna be a jerk about it, and then here's the altercation. So I thought that was dope too. So yeah, I definitely would not mind going to see the movie again.
All I know is we got 8 days left in the school year. I'm gonna have a lot of time on my hands. This is gonna be a lot.
You're gonna be working summer school, and
That's right. First summer school starts.
okay. You're all right there. You're all right there.
But like, yo, I'm telling you, like, I left this movie first. Yo, can we talk about like just the beginning of this movie? I'm like, all right, what is this movie gonna be like? And it starts off and it gives us the danger zone and it has like a very 90s intro.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this movie's gonna be like a nostalgia trip. And then it's like Tom Cruise rides that motorcycle and he's like, yo, what do we need to do? And they were like, yo, we need to hit Mach 9.
Mhm.
And like you could tell by Tom Cruise's face, they were like, yeah, bump that Mach 9 nonsense. And like the whole visual, the whole everything. I'm like, they got Ed Harris
Yo, listen,
in it.
Hondo,
Yo,
Hondo,
thank you.
Hondo,
Thank you.
Hondo.
You want to talk about G?
Yo, listen, when that man hit Mach 10 and he was like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Everett.
Don't do
He
it.
was like, just a little smidgen of a push. Yo,
How much crazier is it now that I told you that the stunts were real?
it was crazy because I was telling Lulu like I was the one who came like I found that information like they're really flying those planes. Just so you know, look at the way the wind's blowing up your face.
Don't worry, a lot of these motherfuckers out here do that with my stuff. So they always biting my
Hey,
skis.
listen, man. And they're not giving you no credit. At least I give you
I
copyright.
never do. I appreciate
You
it.
copyright.
You put me in the works cited page. I'm on the bibliography.
Excited you. Nasty nugget here, nasty nugget there.
But I was like, yo, Hondo was a G, and he had a fire nickname.
Yes.
But my man Warlock, who's the black dude that was always with John Hamm.
Yes.
I don't know why,
Yes.
but anytime that man did anything, I was like, that's my guy Warlock. And I think the name Warlock is fire.
Payday.
Yeah.
Payday. Listen, man.
He didn't even do anything, but I was like,
He flew on the mission.
Payback.
Payback. There you go. My bad.
That was like one of the best
Yeah,
handles.
he flew
like,
on the mission. He flew on the
one
mission.
of the best call signs. I was like, payback is a fire call sign, but I was like, he didn't do much.
Yeah.
But like, how did you start to do the thing too when they were running through the canyon and they're like, come on, Rooster. Come on, Rooster. And he goes like, talk to me, Dad. And I was just like,
"Yee." And that man said, sheesh. He was like, yo, not that fast. Oh no, I'm in it.
yeah, we in there now.
One of the dopest parts for me too was when they were gonna shut the mission down
That's what I'm.
and they kicked Tom
I was
Cruise out of there.
saving it. I was saving
And
it.
they were like, test run happening now. And it was like, who? It was like, oh, I'm going to get this done because I'm already out here.
215.
2:15. And he left some change up there.
I could have been like raptured at that moment. Like it didn't matter. Like I was like,
And that man hit the box. Like, yo, bro.
would like pinpoint.
Yes.
And that's the thing
Yes.
too. That's where my man.
Mind you, in the mission, you have a spotter and a target hitter. He did both. He did both.
Because
He did both. He spotted it, he shot it, and got up out of there, climbed up out of there, almost blacked out, and then this is like, oh yeah, this is how it's done. For me, the dopest part of that is like how they turned into the canyon.
Yeah.
So it's not just coming.
They had
up
to
and
come
over.
inverted.
Yes, and just like come.
Is this not like a giant video game mission?
Yes.
I was and like I was
Yes.
trying to explain it to someone. I was like, you don't understand. I was like, this entire movie is just one mission,
Mhm.
and it's like they make the practices for this mission fire.
I had the Nintendo game.
The Top Gun one?
Yes.
It was. You wish it was that good. If there was a VR Top Gun for this movie, your boy's buying it. I'm like, you know.
Yo, listen. Just like I said, the way they went in the canyon and turned back around and hit the target and had the clump, bro. That right there is enough. Like you said, it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest, and you're gonna you're near blacking out. Like when they showed the vision of like people,
Yo,
like the black
don't
coming in on
television.
the eyes. Yo, it's just like, oh,
like you feel it, like you're there. You're like, oh,
yes. Bro, I was in the seat like.
When they start doing the original trainings and like Maverick like comes out and you're just, where is he? And he's like, oh, he's
Yes.
above us. And he's
Yes.
like, and him and
Yeah.
Goose and Rooster do the nose. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh my god, this
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah, he was like, "Who told you to get noodle towards the ground?" He's like, "Our threshold is 1,000." He was like, "Yeah, but they're gonna have to fly lower than that, so I'm gonna need to change that." Like,
And he's like, well, you're gonna have to submit a
I got you. That man was murking him the whole thing. He was like, "You're dead. You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead." Them brothers doing
Dude,
push-ups
200
all
push-ups.
day,
Uh,
all day. Like, pay me. Yeah, I think the dopest one was when he came up right in between them. He's like, "Whew."
Yeah.
Both planes flew and
yeah,
had
'cause
to
they were
break
like,
off.
whoa, like,
Oh yeah, like because literally one mistake and everybody dies. All
Yeah.
3 planes blow up.
because that's the best part of after. He's like, tell me where you messed up.
Right.
And then they're like talking. He's like, no,
Yeah.
tell his family.
Tell his family.
How are you gonna tell him how you messed that up?
Ugh.
I'm gonna see this movie again. I'm gonna see this movie again. I don't care. I don't care. This movie is so fire. Because they told, oh my god! But like during the scene where he does come in, where he comes in and steals the practice plane or whatever,
Yeah.
Warlock the whole time is like, come on, yo, Warlock is giving, he's giving me all the energy that, like I need for this. But like when they go to fly the final mission and like Hondo comes up to the thing to come talk to him, I was like, they're about to kill the shit out of Tom Cruise.
Mhm.
And I was like, and of course the last
I knew
movie
for sure he was gonna die.
And then when my man Hangman pulled up.
Yes.
And they were like, you look good. And he was like, always do.
Bro,
and I was like, oh my
bro,
God.
listen.
Like somebody needs to hose me down at the end of this
Listen,
movie.
when they were fighting and they were out of flares and this man was like last shot, he was out of bullets. I was like, if they did not send Hangman off of that top,
Go.
if they did not send Hangman off
He's
of
sitting
that
there the
top.
whole time. He's like, come on, put me in. They're like, come on, put me in.
Right. Listen, man, I was like, yo, if he ejects and then Tom Cruise gets killed when you already thought he was dead and then he's not dead, then you're gonna kill him now and this man ejects. Like, come on, man, y'all killing me. Y'all killing me.
I'm telling you, man, like that whole, like when they're going up to their son and he's like, he trying to eject and he can't eject. And I'm just like,
It's just
I
like
don't,
Goose.
and I was just
Like Goose.
I was like, I knew Tom Cruise was probably gonna go, but I was like Rooster too, and I was like, I
Right.
really, really big for
Right.
Rooster.
Right.
And then it's like the missile comes out like just enough, like, and it's like I was just like,
Listen,
I need to go to the bathroom. for
when
10
Rooster
minutes.
took out the chopper right as it panned around,
Yeah.
line up Tom Cruise is like, Scott,
Yeah.
like, and then the other dude came to was like, yo, stop playing. Scott, I was like, yo, these planes are out of control.
This movie is out of control,
Yeah.
bro. Like I was like, oh,
Yes, well worth it.
is there anything else that we need to talk about this movie? Or did we hit every single spot in like less than 7 minutes?
I'm gonna go see it again and probably have something else to say. But we did well.
I'm excited.
We did well.
Best Burgers was good. It wasn't no Top Gun, bro.
No,
I need you to see everything everywhere all at once, just so I can know which
which
is
still
the
in
best
the
movie.
theater.
I think it is.
Okay, I got some free.
It's in select theaters, I'm pretty sure, but it's still showing, and it's getting like because when it first came out, it was showing in limited theaters,
Mhm.
and like and because it got so many rave reviews, like they've kind of still been keeping it in limited theater, but they just been keeping it around,
Mhm.
and I don't know, I think it's pretty dope. On the flip side of that, did you hear about the other movie that they re-released and what happened with that?
No.
So you remember I told you about the movie Morbius?
Yes,
So like, and I told you that it bombed, the movie was trash.
we knew
Other
that was
than-
gonna happen.
So the internet, mainly Twitter, just decided to just do this thing where they fake hyped up Morbius. and they were just talking about like how dope it was, and people were just making up scenes in the movie. And like one of the big things that they were saying was my favorite scene in the movie is when Morpheus goes, "It's Morbin time." So then like Jared Leto himself did a joke where it's like he's got a fake script and it says Morbius 2, "It's Morbid time" on it. So Sony was like, "Oh, people must really like Morbius. Let's re-release it back into the theaters."
They made $12.
This movie made $85,000. That joint went double paper plate, like in the theaters, and it bombed a second time. How do you re-release
More money to put it back in the theater.
100%? Like, how much money are you gonna lose on this?
Money putting it back in the theater.
100%. Like, I can't believe someone at Sony thought that was a good idea.
Somebody's an idiot. Somebody needs to get fired for that.
Yo,
That's crazy.
yeah, whoever directed Morbius, that movie's trash, bro.
Listen, that is out of control. I'm glad I never went to go see that.
Yeah,
I think from the gate though.
let's skip.
All right. We tied 1-1.
We tied 1-1.
Tied 1-1.
So I mean,
You need this win.
I do. I understand. I'm well aware that I need this. So but game one though.
Game 1.
Amazing game.
Amazing game.
This game was amazing.
This is what you want playoff basketball, finals basketball to look like.
Right.
And then
Warriors are up, what, 17 going into the fourth quarter?
think so.
Bunch called Celtics make this crazy run. All of a sudden, the Warriors can't hit any shots.
Nope.
Al Horford, the Dominican god who I told you was the key to victory, hit 6 3-pointers like in one quarter. Marcus Smart can't miss. And I think that's what they missed is like in the second game, like everybody just couldn't miss in the first game, like towards the end of the game. But then it was like everybody can't make it in the second game. And then it was like, yo, that boy Jordan Poole was he saw some of them shorties courtside and was like, yeah, I'm about to show out this game because like I gave you a big donut in the first game.
Yeah. Yeah, he was wilding. He was definitely wilding. He was looking like they needed him to look. The second game was I went to sleep on it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I watched the whole thing. So
Yeah.
it was very disappointing.
Yeah, I think it was like probably midway through the third, I fell asleep and I woke up and the stat
didn't
was
miss
there.
much.
I know I didn't miss much.
There was guys in the game where I was like, I legit don't know who these people are. Not that like I didn't know they played for the Celtics. Like I never seen this player before.
Right. And it's just like, I mean, I know I picked the Warriors. I do not like the Celtics. It's great that they tied the series up so we get more basketball. But ultimately, I don't want to see blowouts in the finals.
No, not at all.
It makes it entertaining. Like you want to see a dogfight. No pun on Top Gun. I saw it. But it's like it makes it feel like the game is inconsistent. And you know how I feel about inconsistencies. Like if you're good, then you should be able to keep battling. And this should look like this throughout the series.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, like, regardless if somebody gets swept, it should be 4 games of close swept games. Or if you're trading games off, the intensity level of basketball should stay the same. It's like
it sounds
going to
good.
show up to play basketball.
Like that sounds good, but then like the way revisionist history works is people never remember how close these games are anyways. Because people talk about like LeBron James getting beat by the Spurs, get swept by the Spurs. And like people don't remember like those games were like 5-6 point games. Like he just kept losing.
Yep.
And it was just like he got swept. So everybody's just like, oh, well, like LeBron's trash because he got swept. And it's like you're really not remembering how like these series went and stuff like that. So like even
wasn't it the same year he had to hit like a almost half court 3 to beat Orlando?
Yeah, that was the same year. It was crazy. That was also the year he had 25 in the last 26 points against Detroit.
Yes.
Like it was an insane LeBron James year, and it was like I think it was like his 3rd or 4th year in the league. It was nuts.
Right.
So like we're tied up now.
Yep.
We're heading to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a Golden State Warriors fan, what are you saying to yourself to be like, I'm not worried about going to Boston? Like, what are like the pluses that you saw in like these first 2 games where you're just like, I'm not worried about the Celtics because of this?
Because we won the second game and didn't lose the second game.
Okay.
So if it was vice versa and Golden State won game 1 the way everybody expected them to, but then the Celtics won game 2 going back home.
So just momentum.
They ride an extreme amount of momentum, which is good for a young cast of kids who are playing really good basketball right now, for them to pull off game 1 in Boston and go up 2-1 in the series. So the fact that they had to put them back in a place like, hey, just so you know, we've won some championships and we've done this before, and we're about to come to your town and split games. I think what's going to happen is Golden State wins the next game, and then Celtics wins the game after that because they're a prideful team and they like to fight back when their backs are in the corner. And I think that 2-1 lead is going to feel more like an elimination game, even though it's not. And they're going to tie the series up going back to, because I said Golden State in 6, but once they lost game 1, it's kind of like, you know what, this looks like it can go 7 games. So I think they're going to split games in the Celtics. But as a Golden State fan, I'm like, I'm glad we won this game.
Wow, Golden State fan, that sounded crazy.
No,
That's
you're saying going from the perspective of a Golden State.
Yeah, like what are you seeing where you're just like, I'm not worried because this is what happened in game 2, and like what specifically are you seeing?
So, like I said, they won the game. Jordan Poole got it together.
Yep.
And Draymond Green has been level-headed. And when you have a Draymond,
got attacked.
He did get attacked.
And he almost got thrown out.
For what was that, the falling over and the kick in the face or whatever, right? Because he's
wilding.
Right, he's definitely wilding. But you still have Draymond. All right. So for now.
Who was very crucial in that second game.
Yes, he was. So I think like this is an opportunity of a wake-up call for Draymond to be like, yo, listen, bro, you can literally blow this for your team again on some dumb stuff by not being around. Like, stop being an idiot and just play freaking basketball, you know? So
I feel like he's like the reverse Al Horford. Like I feel like they do very similar things like on the court, and like they're the same, like they're the heart of like each of the teams.
Draymond ain't hitting no threes.
But I just mean like just straight personality wise, where it's like Draymond is like the firecracker, like he's the mouth, and like Al Horford is like the calmness, and like you know all the other type of stuff. And it's like I digress to that. After watching game 1, if the Celtics win this championship, we are both buying Al Horford jerseys. I'm calling up NBA.com, whoever I do, I'm like, yo, let me get 2 of them Al Horford Celtics jersey and the queen size mattress size. Let's get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. Dominican God is going to be on this body, and I will be wearing it to the whatchamacallit on the pod. That's 100%. I was like, I'm watching this dude. I'm like,
Miz is gonna really like this part.
he's gonna be like me watching Top Gun. He's gonna be like, whoa. Tupac. Well, if after watching game 1, if I'm the Golden State fan, I'm like, yo, Curry went stupid in the first half, didn't wind up doing much afterwards, and it was just like we just couldn't make shots, and it's just like, so that's the reason why we lost. We just couldn't make shots. We couldn't make shots, and then they couldn't miss,
right?
Which is like that's kind of how threes work, because they made an insane amount of threes, like both teams, like in that game. It did seem like they've kind of just figured out how to guard Steph Curry towards the end of that game, where it was just like, we're going to do this, whatever. And the answer was really just like, leave Draymond completely wide open. And it's like, it's what they did. And it's like, for a long time, like it worked. And then they made the really stupid decision of putting like Draymond and Iguodala on the court at the same time. So they were just like, we're not guarding either of these guys. Right. So like, we're just going to, I think there's a picture that you can look at where like Steph Curry's going up for a layup. There's literally 5 Celtics around him. And everybody's damn wide open. But I think also plus size too, like I feel like Time Lord has not looked good so far. And like Kevin Looney is eating his lunch, bro. Like Kevin Looney is like a terror in this paint right now.
I told you, man, that experience makes a difference, man. Yeah. Like I know Looney doesn't have a lot of experience.
He doesn't have the talent.
Right. But he's hanging around a lot of guys who know what it takes to get the job done.
He's got a ring.
Right. Oh, you're right. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
He does have a ring.
Yeah.
All right. So like, he's
seen prime Draymond do it.
Exactly. You know, so it's just like he knows the blueprint. He's seen how it works. Like for Time Lord and them, it's kind of like this is a make or break situation. And when those mistakes come, those become pressure builders. And sometimes it's really tough for guys to let go of that mistake so that they can move towards their next moment of greatness. But sometimes when you're holding on to that, it just adds up to another mistake, until you got to chalk it up to a bad game. But those bad games, like, those are times you want to have in a regular season. There's not times to have bad games. This can cost you the one thing that you model your career after going after. So they better figure it out.
If we flip it, you're a Celtics fan.
Okay.
We're coming back home. Series is tied 1-1. Well, how are you feeling, and how do you convince yourself like we're not worried about these Warriors?
I'm not worried because we got a game in Golden State.
Which is that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing. We split games in Golden State, so that gives us home court advantage now.
Yeah.
Because now if we do what we're supposed to do and handle business at home, there's nothing they can do but try to battle against us. Now we are the dealer. Now you have to play against the house. You know what I mean? So not to mention, it also proves that you can win on the road, which the Celtics have been doing a lot. So I feel like the winning on the road, having the home court advantage and knowing that those first couple games are out of the way, so those jitters for whatever guys may have those should be gone to where they can get back to a point to where they're gelling, getting back to Boston where you feel comfortable and securing a win.
Yeah.
They're going to lose this game and then win the fourth game.
Want to make a bet on that?
Nope.
Okay, just checking. I think if I'm a Celtics fan, I was sitting there and I'm like, we haven't had an awesome Tatum game yet. Like Jason Tatum, for the most part, like especially
This past game he had like 30 something, didn't he?
yeah, but it was like there were like empty shots, and it was like you're doing this in a blowout, like at this point, like you know what I mean. And so it's like it's empty stats.
Yep.
The first game, awful shooting, but he really, really moved the ball very, very well in the first game, which led to Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Derek White, like Jaylen Brown looks like he's found like his I don't want to say role, but it's like he's figured out like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like no one can really stay in front of me one-on-one, especially not Klay Thompson anymore. Even though like I don't have the best handle, like I can literally just blow by him.
Right.
Like that's the thing is like when Jaylen Brown starts dribbling too much, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, all the 17 moves. Like, bro, just do one or two moves.
First of all, pass the ball to the top of the key to the Dominican God so he can run this offense. Like, stop doing this. Listen, like I feel like Celtics' worst basketball is like anytime either Tatum or Jaylen Brown decide to ISO, because then they completely phase everybody else out. And like, granted, like sometimes like we'll get like a really sick Jason Tatum 3 or a really dope take to the basket by Jaylen Brown, but it's like I feel like it stagnates everything else because like that's the thing is we're going back home, and home is where the role players live.
Yep.
So it's like Derek White, I think, has also figured out where he belongs on this team.
Yep.
And he's found his shot.
And his confidence is getting up.
So I'm saying he's got his confidence. He's really figured out like his niche. He's figured out like where he needs to be to get his shots. His shot is falling. He's playing great defense.
Yeah.
So like he's their sixth man. Tice has been getting
Which was surprising because he was playing terrible, but he has had a quick turnaround.
Almost like our boy G Head over at IG and Etsy. Why is that one have the ill scar down the middle? Like, yo, I'm sorry, like it's been through these trenches, but I'm like, yo, if you go on IG and Etsy and search up custom merch and you put in that promo code heavyweight bro spelled HW8BROS, save you 10% on your order because the more you spend,
the more you save.
But I think this is where the role players will finally come out to play. Like I said, like Tice has played some minutes, Grant Williams has played some minutes, but they haven't really been very effective. I saw Neesmith like at one point in time. Pritchard got a couple minutes, and he was also not very effective.
And he was getting smoked.
He was definitely
getting smoked. It was like, yo, swing,
yeah,
swing. Oh, swing.
They were hunting him like crazy.
Yeah.
But then like you go home, you go to Boston. It's like now this is where these guys find their confidence and where they start hitting their shots. That's usually how this works. And like what's like. I feel like if I'm the Celtics, I'm far more confident. I'm like, we know that if we play D the way that we're supposed to play D, we could win this. I don't think Klay, like,
and shout out to Udoka because he's got these boys playing ball.
Told you, man.
Brad Stevens got to be sick right now.
I mean, he works for the team. He hired Udoka.
Wait, what position is he in? I thought
he's the GM
just somewhere else. Oh, Danny Ainge is gone. Danny Ainge is gone. You're right. My bad. He should have been gone. He should have been gone.
But I think Klay Thompson looks like about 70% of Klay Thompson. Like he has like moments where it's like, oh, okay, now Klay's doing Klay stuff, but then it's like he's getting blown by on defense. He can't really make any moves to the basket. Jordan Poole has become very streaky all of a sudden, which is worrisome. But like Steph Curry's doing everything that he can to try to keep his team in the game. Draymond seems like he finally kind of figured like, oh, this is what the defense is going to do. Like, I'm just going to pick them apart, like moving. Cause I think he still only had like 6 points, but he led the game in assists. So like, that's the thing is like when the Warriors look good, like it's really hard to play with them.
Yes.
So it's like, you have to figure out like whatever the thing is. And I think Ime Udoka and those boys are smart enough to figure it out. I think that they have 2 first team all defense guys. If I were them, I wouldn't be 100% worried, but it's like they definitely got to bring the intensity this game. And if I was them, I would also attack this basket. I feel like every time they go to the basket, for the most part, they have some sort of success. Even though, like I said, like Looney's been a terror in there. He's blocked a couple people over there. But like, if Looney comes out the game and he gets in foul trouble, like who's coming in?
It's just tough because a lot of these guys, like they see Steph knocking down threes, and then Clay gets his couple, and then Poole, and just like I try to tell my young guys when I'm coaching them, like, hey, like you can't chase the lead, like you can't try to cut it all down in one shot. It's not going to work that way. You got to pick away at it. But it's just like
because that's really how they whittled it down in game one. Was Jaylen Brown was just eating them up on the inside, and they just slowly.
Right. So it's just like. Sometimes it's hard to process that because you do have the open look. You are an NBA player. You do hit shots, but then you look back and you be like, man, we just shot 6 threes in a row and missed them all. Like, when are we going to take the moment to understand we need to get to the basket? But by the time you do that, you wasted some of that time. And you're like, dang, we wasted this time shooting threes. Now we kind of really need a 3 right now and some layups.
You never want to need a 3.
Right. Once you do that, it's already trouble. Make me raise up, Blue.
I'm excited. I can't remember. Is it Wednesday that game 3 is?
It's a good question. I'll look while you stall.
I think it's Wednesday, and then the next game is Friday. So they get like their 2 days rest. In Boston, I think, because I tried to look up tickets. You know how wild these ticket prices are to get to this game?
It is Wednesday.
It is $800. Yo,
man, I'm about to fall asleep during that game.
That's why we take naps when we get home from work immediately. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do.
If on a Wednesday,
that
might be feasible.
That's what I'm saying. That's all you got to do.
It might be feasible.
We do have another bit of NBA news that we didn't get to talk about.
What's that?
The Lakers have found their head coach.
Yeah.
Darvin Ham, former Piston. Did you hear that today he started hiring his assistant coaches?
No.
Who one of his assistant coaches was?
Who? Better be Chauncey Billups.
No, Chauncey Billups is the head coach of the Trailblazers.
I don't care. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
This man, 4-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, NBA champion. Rasheed Wallace will be joining Darvin Ham as an assistant coach for the LA Lakers.
Yo,
that boy, ball don't lie.
See him at practice.
That boy,
you suck. Ball don't lie.
The memes have been going crazy.
Yeah,
they had the baby boy when Big Ray was like screaming for your mom, and they were like, "This might be Rasheed Wallace talking to Anthony Davis." The boy in the locker room.
Yeah, they need to put a meme of old boy from White Man Can't Jump. I'm going to my car, get my other gun.
You mean Marcus Johnson?
Shoot all you fools.
You mean Milwaukee Buck great Marcus Johnson?
Hey, yeah, that's pretty dope. That is pretty dope.
I was like, "Cool."
That's pretty dope.
I was
like, big on the Lakers hire, but I like this Rasheed Wallace pickup. I can't
wait to get 2K and I have the ability to hire Rasheed Wallace as my head coach.
You see that man telling Westbrook, we wear pants to practice. We wear pants to practice. I don't need all this other stuff. You save that for game day. You want to be on camera on game day, that's fine. Wear pants or sweats to practice.
If I see you in a skirt, you're going to get hurt.
I'm seeing you in the skirt, it's going to get lifted.
well, like, hey, not Sheed.
Oh no, it's old school term, man. It's like
we ain't doing
relax, man. We in 2022, man. I'm still old school, man.
Yeah, it's a little too old school. Do you have for home cooking?
No. Nope, no home cooking today. I'm still looking into the grant that happened. That was given out to Chicopee and Holyoke. So no, I'm just trying to find valid articles. You know what I mean? I just don't want to go off just what's on Mass Live. I'm going to see if like there's anybody that may be tailoring the truth differently, not like lying, but like has a different outlook or aspect on what's happening in their community rather than just going off of what the media is feeding us.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, we can get right to the Blitz.
Do we even have anything for that?
A couple of small things.
Did you say you don't want to just keep going?
Yeah. I mean, I like to bring up the fact that Jeudy got his charges dropped. You don't have to sing the song.
All right.
We just say Jeudy got his charges dropped. So shout out to Jeudy. That means that I don't think he ever was not going to be able to play football, but it is a stress reliever to know that he can go into OTAs and get back to his craft without worrying about having to go to jail. So
he's got a whole new quarterback that he has to learn how to play with.
Right, exactly. And it definitely needs to get those in. Aside from that, Aaron Donald signed with Donda. I don't know what that means other than
because I kept seeing that people were like, oh, Jaylen Brown is the first athlete to sign with Donda, but then I was like, weren't we talking about Aaron Donald like a week before it happened? So like, who really signed with the first? Did he sign some other deal that wasn't actually with? I don't know.
I don't know. Them Donda cleats is gonna look crazy. I know they're gonna be all black.
He about to be rocking them the way Kanye rocked the boots. They're never about to come off. Did you see Kanye did get new boots? It was like a big deal.
Yo, them joints look crazy. But I mean, the other ones look crazy, and he rocked them joints even in the shower today.
The joints look like the joints look like the boots that like SpongeBob refused to take off. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up.
All right. So doubling back to Joey Crack. Oh, that was pretty dope.
It was okay. It was okay.
Here we go. So last time we were on the pod, we were talking about knowing your role.
Yep.
I think you had started with sneaky links.
Yes.
And you were saying
Booty
like,
calls.
yes, and just making sure that if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be doing anything outside of that. Know your role. Don't get to catching feelings.
Mhm.
We know what we are here for. And if things go beyond that, then we can discuss that. But this is not what's happening here.
So like this is what we call it. So this week, we're moving up. It's know your role again.
Okay.
And we're with side piece / friends with benefits.
Okay.
But while they do kind of operate on two different ends of the spectrum,
Mhm.
like a lot of the rules for both of them are kind of the same. And while they are similar to booty calls and sneaky links, they're not necessarily the same.
Okay.
Like there's usually like a lot more emotions and feelings behind these two.
Okay.
But these are also very dangerous ones, like as well. So like it's very key that you play your role correctly. And I'll start off with a side piece. For those who don't know what a side piece is, this is usually the makings of an adulterous relationship. Like usually like someone's already in a relationship with somebody else. They are not getting their needs met in a certain area. Usually it is sexually for the most part. I want to say like 90% of these cases are sexually. And
99.
99. I mean, some people just be like, I just need to cuddle. I just need to hang out with somebody. I just need to be in your essence because I don't get this from my partner or whatever.
I wouldn't know.
But yeah, so like, what did you say? So like, you know, the thing is like, you know, you have your main meal and then you have your side piece. So like, the key to both of these things, as much as it is with sneaky links and everything else, is discretion.
Okay.
Discretion is key. I'm not taking you out to dinners. We're not going to be seen in public. Except for friends with benefits, which I will get to that and I'll say like what's more different about friends with benefits. I think we said with the sneaky links, it's like it's almost preferable that there's some sort of schedule. When it comes to being a side piece, there's most certainly a schedule because we have to work around the schedule of this significant other and like how we're going to maneuver around this person. It's a lot more devious and
battlefield.
It is a battlefield out
It's
here.
a battlefield.
So like you have to figure out is like, hey, like my husband doesn't come home from work until this time and stuff like that. And my boyfriend, usually he works a double on this day.
Shame on you.
And it's like, you know, you handle your business and then you're not spending the night because you know you can't ruin a happy home. So like what you got? You
Bunch
gotta
of freaking Michael Douglas is walking around.
Yo, but like
That was genuine.
Yeah, it was a genuine one. That was a solid. I was like, wow, like Michael Douglas, that was a good call. But yeah, it's you know, as far as like texting and things like that, texting is another thing where it's like you are not texting each other unless you literally need to know where am I going and what time am I getting there. I'm not telling you good morning. I'm not asking you how your day was. When you and your boyfriend or husband get into arguments, you're not crying to me about like the situation. Like it's just like I'm not here for none of that. Like you come here to get one thing and you would get that one thing because if I didn't have the one thing, then we would be together. You know what I mean? And like I'm gonna get to it later of like how these things usually get messed up.
Okay.
Now, friends with benefits is a little bit different. It's almost like the opposite end of a side piece, where you are or have been friends for like quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
You both notice and realize like, yo, I couldn't be with you. I can't like live with you. I can't navigate a relationship with you.
Sheesh.
But there's clearly an attraction here. I might not be getting it met anywhere else. You're not getting your needs met physically anywhere else. So it's like, why not just have sex? And then that's just what we do. And like we could still continue to hang out with all our friends and like we could do all that type of stuff. But like I'm still leaving. Like I mean, I guess you could keep the friends with benefits like till the morning, like have breakfast. Like it wouldn't be weird to be seen out in public because it's like we're friends. But then the problem with that is everybody then when they see you out, they start doing the game is like, yo, you two a thing? How come? Because you know what? You guys actually look good together. And it's like that ruins the whole like
Nah, go ahead. I'm listening.
no, why don't you go? That yo sounded like it was a pretty strong yo.
No, because the way you said it, I just recalled you telling Sidebar Ben, like, how did you get this?
This is a little bit different. Like I was like, but I definitely did hit him when I was like, wait, you? Like when because he said her name like 4 times. He said her name like 4 times, and I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. Where's she from? Wait, so you're saying like I said it like 4. I was like, wait, you? That's who you're getting married to? She's pregnant with your baby? I was like, yo, you. Like, I
Man was on the usher joint, like, say word. Quit playing, man.
Come on. It could be that brother was like, please, positive. Is your family religious? Sorry. But yeah, so like friends with benefits. All right, so like we could kind of shift this onto like where these things go wrong and like some of the ways to navigate this. So with friends with benefits,
Okay.
I would say if you can, do not do it. You should not be friends with benefits with your best friends. And these are like your closest friends, like your real, true friends. That's usually not a good mixture because especially if you guys don't ever plan on taking it to the next stage, like you're just going to do this thing. It's just, is it the clapping?
Yeah.
It's clapping. It's like all you're just going to do is just muddle up a whole bunch of emotions because then like things get real confused like real quick because like you can love your friend but not be in love with your friend. But then like when you're making love and like you're having all these things and like this person's bringing me all this pleasure and like all this stuff, I feel comfortable, I feel safe, I feel all these things, like why not make this a thing? And it's like when that doesn't work out because like the reason why you're friends with benefits and not boyfriend and girlfriend is because obviously the relationship piece doesn't hit. So then it's like
Euphoria.
Yeah, the expectations become different because it's like I'm your friend, but I'm not your man. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not none of these things. So like those are always like a tough thing to navigate. So like when it comes to calling and texting, like it's a pretty normal thing because like we're friends. We usually like call and text each other. So like that's not so out of the ordinary. But then it's like the intention behind these texts because it's like a good morning text between friends is like, I should say this, like nobody should be texting you good morning besides your significant other, really. Like, you know, like, you know, like if you
what time is that good morning coming at? Hey, is this like 11:30 or is this like 7:15?
It's a good mood. I know you're gonna like it. That's the only reason I said it. Like if you're one of those people like you in the group chat and you call it in the beginning, like, hey team, let's make sure that we have a great Monday. I see y'all on Friday. Right. Yeah, you could do that. But if you're doing it every day, it's like, hey, how'd you sleep? Like you're doing all that kind of stuff. That's not friends with benefits level stuff. You know, like Playboy, like you mix in and you dibbling and dabbling and like you starting to get things confused because that's what you don't want is you don't want to mix these things, get them confused, and then things get murky, the feelings get into it, and then now all of a sudden you guys aren't friends anymore. Because like that's the worst part of it is like not only do I lose potential boyfriend/girlfriend, but I don't have this friend, this support system,
and that whole social setting that you guys are connected to.
So that's another thing too, is like this, and this is another reason why I say not your best friends. Right. They should be like either auxiliary members of the squad, where it's like a friend of a friend type of deal, or coworkers are usually pretty decent friends with benefits. Even though like they say you don't crap where you eat. You know,
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, but it's like, sometimes it's like, we adults and I gotta hit them up.
Yeah, you just see that like things going wrong, and then the social setting goes wrong, and then the friends are picking sides.
That's what you don't want.
And then it becomes a us versus them. It's like you did my girl dirty, you did my homie dirty. It's like, yeah, it's like, why is nobody?
Then you do the thing of like, because you're like I said, discretion is the key to all of this. Because that's the thing is like you don't want the friend group to know.
Right.
And those are the main people you don't want to know. Like you can tell your parents or like whoever you want to tell, your coworkers, people who don't matter.
Mhm.
When you start getting inside the friend circle and you tell them, that's when it gets real messy. Because then you start figuring out, well, you know that I've always had feelings for this person, and then I did this. How come you guys didn't tell me? How come you guys didn't tell me? And then how could this happen? And then how come you chose her instead of me? And then like all of a sudden it gets real disgusting in there. And the last thing you want to do is fracture the friend squad. Auxiliary members, co-workers, people who
Auxiliary members.
yeah, where it's like, yo, like we don't like you're not part of the
Throwaway
squad.
character.
You're not part of the squad, but like sometimes like I might come over and like you just happen to be there because like you live in the neighborhood or like you're their childhood friend or like some random thing like
So
that.
you about to get vector.
No, not like that. So yeah, like that's kind of like the real key of like, you know, friends with benefits thing, but it's like the cutoff point or like when you should know the cutoff point is when the expectations become very different. And it usually does come from the female side because like there are certain things you ask your male friends to do, but then there's certain things that you expect your male friends to do. And when favors become expectations, it really, really like, because then when you do the thing where it's like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And they're like, yo, what do you mean? Like, you're my friend. It was like, yeah, I've never done that before. Like, why am I going to start doing that now? And yeah, like one person always catches the feelings and then it makes everything else like super duper messy. If you are in a friends with benefits situation and you mutually agree, like, hey, we're going to stop doing this thing for whatever reason it may be, do not try to revisit that thing. Cause it's like when you try to revisit it, it gets even messier because then it's just like, now I missed you. Or like I missed this thing, but then like while we were separated, like we were doing other things, and it's like
Relationship now.
we're also friends. So like I know all the dirt that you do, and I know all the stuff that you do out there. So like now all that's doing is that it makes me feel like you're doing it to me.
Yeah.
And so like that. So like now I feel some type of way, and it's like now these things have become personal. And it's just like, yo, why are you getting so mad that like we all always go out to the club together? Why is it because I leave with the shorty? Now all of a sudden you mad, and now all the other friends are wondering why you're mad and stuff like that. It's like you can't mess that. You cannot mess that up.
And everybody go CSI Miami until they figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And now you're both in trouble.
While being different from, I think the biggest difference from the sneaky links and booty call versus like a friends with benefits is I have seen a lot of friends with benefit situations turn into a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, some of them even being like a husband and wife situation. But if you are getting in, like in the beginning, you have to be super, super honest. If you want to be boyfriend-girlfriend with this person, but they don't want to be boyfriend or girlfriend with you, they only want you for this one thing,
Can't force
it ain't never gonna work.
It
ain't never gonna work. All you're gonna do is wind up making yourself angry. You're gonna get angry at this person, and it's gonna come out in a way that you don't want to see, and then you are going to get exiled from the friend group ASAP because you can't handle it.
Big facts. Those usually happen in social settings.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's what happens in front of all the other friends, and everybody
in public. In public.
And everybody's like, "What is that?"
What?
And then you have to do the rundown thing. So I've been talking to this person since they're like, even from the cookout. And you're like, yeah. Like, do you remember when he brought the burgers? And everybody was like, how did he know to bring burgers?
When you gave her a ride home. Wait, I don't remember him pulling up with the burgers. He just came out the house with them.
Why were they already pre-seasoned? Like, you know, he always has wine. No, I'm just kidding.
What's the receipt dated for?
Yeah, like, man, what was the other side of it? It was the friends with benefits. What was the other side? It's not sneaky links.
Oh my goodness.
Trust me. That's good. Like that way I can get there.
He said push button. There you go. Side piece.
Side piece. All right. Where the side piece almost always messes up. It goes both ways. I got to be honest.
Catch feelings.
One of them catches feelings. And I always see where they're just like, how many times have you heard this? He's gonna leave his wife for me, and then we go, what? Oh, this nigga's gonna leave his wife. He would have left his wife, bro. There's a reason why he still lives there.
If that ain't the most infamous Tyler Perry line I've ever heard in my life.
You go, he said that she don't make him happy, and that he's just waiting for this and this to happen, and then like we gonna be together, and then that they're gonna be separated. Yeah,
okay.
And then and yeah, that's the thing is like you have to know what you're getting into when you get in there. Like they have already gone through the ups and downs. They're in this relationship. 9 times out of 10, if they want a side piece anyways, they lying.
Right.
Why would you want to be with someone that you know can have a side piece? Because then, like, once you become the main piece, won't you just get another side piece?
Facto. Presto chango.
This is why it's important to know your role. You whatchamacallit, you not getting in there, you're not being a side piece to then become a wife or a husband. That's not how it works. You are playing your role until the role is no longer required. Like, that's all it is. At some point in time, whatever swing that they're in their relationship, they're going to come back up out of it, and you are going to disappear into the sunset. And the last thing you want to do is, like, all of a sudden it was the pop.
Yes.
Is you show up to the cookout and you mad at the wife, and she doesn't even know why you mad at her, and then, like, all of a sudden you start throwing shots out, and you think
that is a Tyler Perry movie. And then what was that? I think that was this Christmas.
Sure.
When what was it? Not Ricky Smiley. Who's the other guy?
You're just naming people like, I don't know.
I forget his name, but he ends up, like, sleeping with some young girl in the grocery store, and someone else meets the young girl and they invite her to dinner.
Face slept with my husband.
Huh?
Like, what's your soul food? Face slept with my husband. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that one too. Oh my goodness.
Faith. Faith. I was calling her Faith. Faith slept with my husband.
JB Smooth. That's who.
Okay. Yeah.
JB Smooth.
Actually, I can see how you got them confused. They don't look alike, but they kind of play like that same type of character. Like, I get that. Man, I was kind of losing, like, my train of thought. But it's like, some people think that if I tell what is going on, it'll sabotage the wedding, the marriage. So that way, like, it'll just make everything happen faster, and then they'll come to me. Because it's like, no, you were never meant to be that. What's going to happen is my wife or husband is going to divorce me. We're going to break up, and I'm going to stop talking to you because all you did was ruin the good thing that I had.
My family and my kids.
Yeah, and then they're gonna do the whole thing. It's like, I don't got time for you now, because, like, now I'm co-parenting, and it's like I'm doing all this other stuff. Like, you can't, like, yo,
I had to get a second job to pay this alimony. This is all your fault.
Yeah, and, like, side pieces usually work the best. I'm like, this is weird how I'm giving, like, tips on side.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's like,
it's just like,
they got to be randos. It's like the randos is the only thing that work, because, like, we've already talked about when you talk about, like, watching the throne. Your significant other always knows who out of the friend group is the one that wants a piece, or who out of the thing is like, oh, like, wants to get up in there. So, like, they're always on it. So, like, they're never gonna let you get that. But this one person that they just don't know about, it's like they don't know. If they don't know it, like, how you gonna stop it? Type of deal. And it's like, it's a lot harder.
I don't know anything about this topic. I'm just here to support you.
And, like, when I talk about like, discretion is key, like, discretion is key. Like, nobody should know about your side piece, because you can't put your friends in it, because, like, you in a whole relationship, and it's like, now they got to keep this secret, and they got to do all this other type of stuff. And then, like, if they're actually good friends, like me and my friends, like, we would just be like, yo, man, I don't think that's the way to go about it, bro. Like, that's like, she's a good woman. Like, she's this, like, he's a good man. And it's just like, that's not a good look. And then it's like, now you commit adultery. And it's like, now I got to sit here and I got to look at her eyes and tell her that I knew the whole time. You can't do that to nobody.
Dirty dog.
So don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Nobody should know. Coworkers are also usually pretty a good place for this, because, like, if you can keep it discreet at work and other people at work don't know, then your significant other ain't never going to know, because then they talk to you at work. It's like, I don't never see them with nobody. It's got to be real low key. When it comes to calls and text messages, I'm sending a carrier pigeon. Like, you can't, like, like, I don't want no, like, it's not even like, you're not getting a green box or a blue box. Like, I'm literally texting you on Kick or something that doesn't exist no more.
This man is sending a bird to the bird.
Like, we're playing like Words with Friends, and I message you in there, so that way, like,
this is all gone after the game is over. I'm gonna forfeit the game as soon as it's done.
Because why would you go into my games and check Words with Friends? You ain't never gonna check none of that.
You gotta check now.
There ain't nothing to check, because there ain't nobody to check either. So, like, yo, we good. But what I'm saying is, like, yo,
broken.
Like, I'm talking about the most discreet. You gotta have, like, code words on, like, what you're even talking about, because, like, if you say any, like, because, like, when you look through and you see people's names and you see, like, the first sentence of each message, like, if it says anything about a location or anything like that, who's this person and why all of a sudden that they always texting you?
Or it's super awkward if you that person is texting and the other person's just looking at them and they see the soda go, who you texting, huh?
This is a quick side piece thing.
Uh-oh.
And this is a real life story. I'm not gonna put this person's name out there, but this was one of the most wildest. Like I was like, wow, you put in a lot of effort to get this side piece. This man
Oh shoot.
bought her an Xbox and downloaded a bunch of games on it. So he would be like, oh, I'm about to go game. Would really be on the mic talking crazy about like, oh yeah, where are we dropping? Doing stuff like that. They'd be like, oh, well, how about you just come over to MySpace? Stuff like that. Like, yo, on me. It was like, so that way, that man over here, like, it was crazy. I was like, yo, you went to the store and spent $200-$300 to get a system. He was like, oh, I bought the old joint though, so like it was a little bit cheaper. I was like, it don't matter. You brought hardware, taught her how to use the buttons and how to use the mic.
Yeah.
Like, all stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, it ain't never worth it. Safe to say, like, I don't know if he watches the pod anyways, because we ain't been cool like that in a minute. We ain't been cool like that in a minute. But it was like that was a wild. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna do that.
You look like you was gearing up to it.
I would never.
Okay.
I'm not a dirty Mac dude. Yeah, I want to say that's kind of it for the two of them. So it's like when it comes to like knowing your role, it's like discretion is key.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like also knowing
Outside of the group.
Outside of the group. But I think the key to both of them is knowing when to pull your parachute. Like when to be like, oh, this is like this is too, like this is getting too crazy.
Ooh.
And like when you are the side piece and you start having thoughts, or when they start telling you, it's just like when you're a side piece and you know that you're a side piece and the other person tells you like, I love you,
Mm-hmm.
like I love you more than like my wife, it's like, yo, that's just a cold sign of like, I need to get up out of here because like this person will say anything
Mm-hmm.
to get me up in here. So it's like when they tell me that like the divorce is coming and like all this other stuff, you can't believe none of that stuff. Because it's like, yo, if anything, actions speak louder than words.
Always.
You know what I mean? So like,
Always.
you're not buying me no gifts. Actually, you know what? When you're a side piece, they will buy you a lot of gifts. Like, hey, saw this and I bought this, because that's the hush money.
Of course.
It's like, I'm gonna buy you stuff and I'm gonna make sure that you fed. I'm gonna come with food because we're not going out to eat. We're not doing that type of stuff. I'm gonna come with food all the time. I'm gonna make sure that you fed.
Get comfortable.
What'd be crazy is if you cook dinner and you brought her a doggy bag, like leftover, that would be crazy. You can't do that though. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can't do that. I haven't seen nobody do that. I haven't seen nobody do.
You said it like you have prior experience.
If they're doing that, like that's
lasagna.
If I'm gonna let you, if you are a side piece and the person that you are messing around with brings you home cooked food that either they or their significant other had prepared, that is a full-on psychopath. Get as far away from that person as possible. That punani or that peen is not worth it. That is like they're about to put you through a toxic like tumbler and like you running through the dryer. They're about to do you filthy. Get out of there. That's when you pull your parachute. When they start doing crazy stuff like that, like you're out of there.
Got chicken breast.
Friends with benefits.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Friends with benefits. When you get to the point where one of you is seeing that, like, when you start talking about, like, what if we did make this real? Like, what would be the difference?
Oh, no.
And they start doing the thing, it's just like,
Oh, no.
I mean, but like, I do this, and this. Like, why don't we just do this? Or like, why don't you just stay over a little bit longer? Or like, why don't you just come here? Or like,
why don't you go get my toothbrush for me?
What if you're friends with benefits and they start buying you stuff for around the house? Like they start buying you like a toothbrush, or like you have your own slippers. Like when you go over there, get out, because they are trying to trap you in a relationship that you're not ready for.
You've been adopted.
You've been indoctrinated, bro. Like you.
So
yeah. Like
it's over.
Like yo, get out of there. When you start,
Where?
I'll tell you. This is probably the better example right here. When you or the other person, or like you notice the other person start to become jealous. It's time to what you call it, pull the cord on that, because like we should not be at that point,
right?
Because that means either I have feelings or you have feelings, and that's not what's supposed to be going back and forth here.
No, boy.
We are friends, so we obviously have a care and affection towards one another.
Mm-hmm.
But once they start becoming romantic like that, like pull the cord, like it's what you call it. You getting too far.
Okay.
That's know your role. Next week, I think we'll do boyfriend girlfriend. I think we're moving on up.
Okay.
So,
okay. I like the way you building your levels, man. I love levels.
I mean, that's what it is. It's like every step is question power. You know what I mean? We get so much.
Step I take.
Yo, I gotta tell you, the last week was a bit of a hit, but boy, did it cause some stuff at the same time.
Whoa.
The I don't want to date your boyfriend.
Oh.
It got a little hectic to say, but I'll tell you right now, there was a lot of people that was texting. I was like, if the shoe fits, wear it. You know, there was a lot of those.
Hey, I'm glad I could be of service.
Thanks.
Sometimes we don't talk about the tough things, and having those conversations brings enlightenment. So,
do you have a cultural gem?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I will let you know. I stay on that Eddie Murphy. You know, I be. Did
you have a quick thing to say about side pieces and friends with benefits?
Nope.
Do you know any side pieces or friends with benefits?
Nope. Want to ask me again?
Not really. Do you know what's appropriate?
It's the only argument I need, Sean.
All right.
Okay. Let's get on to this cultural gym. I don't know what this brother's trying to do over here, but it ain't gonna be
I'm
me.
not doing anything. Like, I was trying to give you time to get your thing, but then also I feel like I kind of I don't want to say like I railroaded you, but I feel like I was all up on it. I didn't know if you had anything to.
No. I am not privy to this information, so I'll allow you to talk your battlefield moments, and hopefully no one steps on a landmine. All right, so today we are going with none other than the 1996 movie Nutty Professor.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would say because we are talking about the remake, not the original White Nutty Professor. That was a little.
No. We're talking about the remake. When you got Sherman gonna have relations. The introduction to Buddy Love. You got Janet Jackson in here. You can't go nowhere. Eddie Murphy's playing 17 roles. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
This movie had a banging soundtrack. I can't remember what was on it, but I remember buying the the Nutty Professor soundtrack. No. Was that the Are You That Somebody on it? Was that Leah?
I believe it. I believe so. Oh, wait. Was this the Jada Jackson one? This was the Jada Pinkett one.
Yeah, Jada Jackson comes in the clumps.
Yes, in the clumps. In the clumps.
Which is
but you do have
which is a little bit it's not as good as the first Nutty Professor.
So you have Eddie Murphy, you got Jada Pinkett, of course you have Dave Chappelle before anybody.
Yeah.
Reggie. Right.
Women be shot. Women be shot.
You have Jamal Mixon, which is one of the twins, David Ramsey, Alexis Robinson, Montel Jordan.
Yep.
So it was a great movie for me. I enjoy seeing Eddie Murphy getting to do things like this. Like this just brings you back to Coming to America with him and Arsenio Hall playing like 3-4 roles. I know sometimes yep. I think sometimes people think I just want to gobble you up and you're afraid too. Well, I think people sometimes are like, oh yeah, it's cheesy when you're playing a bunch of people, but they don't actually understand the talent that it takes to play all these characters within the same scene and the amount of time and effort that it goes in to reshoot all of these scenes for them to be packaged together into one scene.
Eddie at this point in time was a tour de force. So it was there was nothing that he couldn't do at this point in time.
Right.
I just remember them eating chicken they made chicken look so disgusting in this movie.
I was about to say delicious.
Now, there's a point where they're they're in. It's but I remember I always wanted. He had a clear jar full of Reese's Pieces, and he was down it, and it was going down his chest. And I was like, man, that man wasted mad Reese's Pieces. And I was like, I feel like as an adult, I need a jar full of Reese's Pieces.
Right. So for those of you who don't know the premise of this movie, first look in the mirror and tell yourself you're ashamed of yourself. But Eddie Murphy plays an overweight college professor, really into science, and he's trying to gain the love of one Jada Pinkett. And he thinks being skinny and handsome would help that situation. So he starts working on a dietary supplement that ends up becoming a dietary solution that not only helps you lose weight, but it just literally does the complete opposite to your body of what it looks like in that moment. So he went from being fat and slow and sloppy to being fit and athletic and handsome. And it created an alter ego called Buddy Love,
Yeah.
where he was that person, but he actually was not that person.
You want-
And
you
Sherman
want me to tell
Klump
you-
and Buddy Love end up battling for the life of the person in the movie.
Do you want me to tell you what the actual hit song from the soundtrack was?
Yes.
There's actually two of them.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's like three of them on here.
Uh-oh.
But here's the two of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the one that I think is not the bigger one first, but it's still a pretty good song. Ain't no like the one I got, no.
Okay, Jay-Z and Foxy Brown.
But I was like the bigger one, and I was like, this is the one that I really remember, like in the video. Touch me, tease me, love everlasting. Hold on tight and
don't let go.
baby. To express.
Wow. Okay.
Case.
1996. Sheesh.
The final fight scene where his body is like becoming Sherman and Buddy, and he's transforming.
Yes.
I always thought it was one of the coolest scenes.
The
Like,
way
it's
he was
like,
arguing.
he's stepping on his own foot.
Right.
His look would come like mad crazy down here, something like that. But I think the Dave Chappelle scene is probably one of the most memorable scenes, like in the movie. The Reggie.
Man, crack your fan. Yo. When he banged that man's head on the piano.
He made it and then threw him into the back of
Yes. All right, so I know you're gonna want to know where to watch Nutty Professor. So you have Hulu,
Okay.
Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
YouTube,
Yep.
and Voodoo. Why is that the Voodoo side?
I don't know. I did end up whatchamacallit, going to the Voodoo app and just checking it out.
Mhm.
And it is like they do have their own movies and TV shows that you can watch, but they're like wild looking stuff. Like I feel like they're not like you're not gonna find Grey's Anatomy on Voodoo. Type of deal.
Right.
But then like I just checked it out and I tried it out and I was like, you literally could search up any movie and like they'll be like, hey, here it is, $4.99.
What?
Yeah, like, it's pretty
Oh,
crazy.
so it's not like watch it for free, like you have to pay for everything that you look at.
Yeah, I didn't see like a Voodoo plan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It really is like a blockbuster type service. it seems
Ooh,
like.
you took it. Great job.
But I was just like, I was just like, this could be really handy for like, I really want to see this movie and I don't know how else to get it. Like, pay the $4, watch it on Voodoo.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can keep it though. I really want to do like a little bit more research on Voodoo before I start making false promises. I don't want to sell anybody fake dreams.
Okay.
Do you have a reason that?
I do.
Okay.
Right. Voodoo, boom, boo. All right, I tried. My bad. I'm sorry.
Well, like, was that the reason? That sound effect? What was that?
Yeah. I heard do the great. It's okay.
Okay, I got you. Like the reason. I got you.
Okay.
I didn't even do the shine bright like a diamond. Coach from Germany. Yeah, that one's got to go.
Sorry. All right. So I'm gonna keep saying this as the summer vastly approaches us, and we're actually getting some legit freedom to go outside and be amongst each other again. I'm begging you not to lose your head. And I know I've been saying this a lot. And what I neglect to realize is that it's easy to tell somebody not to do something without giving them the alternative. So I'm a firm believer of not just saying don't do this, but you have to give somebody something to replace that negative time so that they can, give and take with like something constructive rather something negative. So I'm urging you to pick up a hobby this summer. All right. Whether it's like collecting something or binge watching a TV show or training in something. Maybe you want to set a goal to lose some weight, or maybe there's some family you haven't hung out with in a while and you're like, all right, we're going to contact each other twice a week. Or maybe you want to start learning how to play chess or something. Whatever it is, figure out something that you are interested in and make that your hobby for the summer. So in those moments of extreme stress, or you feel like there's nothing to do, or you're getting aggravated for the day, you have some type of coping mechanism to get you through those tough times. So we're not doing dumb stuff this summer. Let's try to all make it through. And that's it. Short and sweet.
Good enough to eat.
Yeah, ooh.
Like your brother wanted TLC. Right. I think as we get more freedom, don't jeopardize your freedom. What you're trying to say?
I'm trying to tell you. You would hate to say that. Went from COVID to outside to jail.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right. So
Really be quarantined at that point in time.
right. It's really not worth it. It's really not worth it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the end of the P. Willie episode.
Hey,
You want to give us a sneak peek on what the heavyweight lovers are going to be next week?
yeah, it's going to be about